how I first implemented my morning time. So, I am a big fan of tiny incremental changes. Teeny tiny, I'm talking. So, how I first worked with creating a morning time routine for myself is that I mostly used my current morning routine as it was, exactly as it was. I made one switch, was the very first implementation of morning time, which, if you listen to the first video in the series where I talk about why I came to do daily morning time, um, there's a lot of information in there about my headspace as I was coming into it. So, my thought process was that on Saturday and Sunday, which were my weekend days, um, I live by myself. So, on those 2 days, I could do like some kind of longer session or whatever. And in the weekdays, the Monday through Friday, then I would just do what I always do, which is get up for work and take a shower and go to work. And as I took a shower, I always played music for myself while I took a shower and got ready. And so instead of the music, I played this video that I had found from the weekend. I found Abraham Hicks, July 9th, 2016. I was searching for guided meditations and came across her video, It's a Good Morning. And the version that I found was 13 minutes long. And so as I took a shower and I got dressed, the the video covered that time, and I went to work and moved on with my life. And so for about a week, that's all I did, was instead of music, I played It's a Good Morning. And about the second week, I noticed how I wished at the end of, like, okay, so I was dressed and I was walking out the door and I had listened to my video. I was wishing that I had time to listen to another video because it just felt so good to get to hear that message of it's a good morning, it's a new morning, it's a new day, you're new today, anything is possible today. I don't know exactly what she says, but that's the gist of it for 13 minutes set to some nice music. I've linked it in the description box, the latest version that's out. And so the second week, I was very excited to wake up about 10-15 minutes earlier. And basically, all I did was, I played it while I took my dog for a walk and played it while I got in the shower and just really took my time so that I was getting ready for 30 minutes instead of for 15 minutes. And okay, cool. And so it kind of went like that. Like week after week, I wanted I wanted to have time to listen to more videos. So I started listening to 3 videos, and I it was about that time that I was like, dude, I got time to like make coffee at home and like have a cup of coffee at home before I go to work, which I was not doing. I was showing up to work uncaffeinated, no breakfast, have only been awake for 20 minutes, and now people need things from me. Like, dude, no wonder you're depressed. So this was the beginning of like, whoa, like I could make a cup of coffee and play the first video, and I could warm up my breakfast and play the second video, and then go get in the shower and play the third video. And so like it kind of went like that to where 5 months later, when I was quitting that job, my software company job, I was waking up around 4 o'clock in the morning so that I could do 3 hours of morning time where I would listen to Abraham and journal and drink coffee and have breakfast and just have this like extended magical bubble of time with myself. And I didn't set out to do anything except, instead of playing music while I'm in the shower, I played the Good Morning video instead. So that would be my 2 cents, is kind of look at your existing morning routine And what would it look like to add 1% more energy into it? So that could literally be anything. You know, I'm a very auditory person. I was already listening to music, so it made a lot of sense to switch to talking content. If you're somebody who normally like reads the news every morning, like maybe instead of going straight to the news, you read like 5 minutes worth of some kind of self development or uplifting style of content, whatever that is for you, something that helps you feel happy and fun and lighthearted. Again, that's going to look different for everybody. There's also like I mentioned in the last video about how I was counting my days. Like if I did self-care that day, then I got to count the day, and that kept my streak going of how many days in a row had I done self-care, which was a method that works for me. If it stresses you out, then absolutely don't pick it up. But with counting the days, like sometimes it was like I wanted to do the self-care. I mean, like most of the time I wanted to do what I was doing. Like I said, I woke up so early, a little bit earlier and a little bit earlier, like one more video, one more video, one more video. And it was so gradual because it felt so good. It was like I couldn't wait to go to bed because I looked forward to how good I felt in the morning, because I had figured out a way to like basically create this little bubble of energy around myself. And again, however that works for you. I was just listening to a friend who said like their morning routine consists of opening windows or a door and like getting fresh air, straightening their spine, maybe picking a book off a shelf and like flipping to a random page and reading it like an oracle message. I've never heard of that. I thought it was so cool. Props to Jody for throwing out that idea. So it can be so simple, like whatever your personal anchor is, as far as like what is the thing that lets you be excited that it's morning. And for me, the Abraham Good Morning video was very much like training wheels, because I was coming out of a headspace where I felt negative all the time. There's no break in my negativity at all, except for when I was playing the Good Morning video. And then I noticed how like I was kind of like memorizing the video, because again it's very repetitive, and so then it would be like kind of playing in my head like throughout the day, and that was about the time I was like, I wish I got to listen to 2 videos instead of just this one. And so yeah, it's like it can start so small and grow into something that is a literal anchor point inside of yourself that you look forward to waking up every morning so that you get to do that. Jody also reminded me of another awesome anchor point in my own process is my coffee. So that's like when I like open my eyes, a lot of times like I'll scroll through YouTube and see random stuff and like do the thing where, you know, when you don't click into the video and it just like starts writing what they're saying on the screen. So I'll just like read some documentary videos or a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Like that's kind of where I start. And for better or for worse, that's what the process looks like for me. And I'll do that for maybe like 10-15 minutes or whatever. And then usually I'm ready to like actually get up. And that's where my quote unquote morning time starts. And first and foremost, I have to let the dogs outside. Like if I get up, they have to go outside. That's like step number one. So kind of the fresh air piece of it comes into play there too. I love that, like walking out on the deck. Usually it's completely dark at that time, so I'll look at the moon for a while and the stars and just breathe the fresh air, and then come back inside with them and make my first cup of coffee. There's usually a couple in the mix. And that's kind of like how my anchor works, is the coffee and then playing some type of content that helps me feel uplifted usually. especially early on when I was very first implementing the coffee and Abraham video. That was kind of the 1-2 punch of like how I anchored my morning. And then it's always like, I think, a matter of set a low bar so that you can count the day. Like, let's say you spent 5 minutes, cool, high five, count the day. You know, if you got time and it's feeling good and you want to stay in that flow and do 20 minutes or 30 or an hour or two, I mean, dude, go for it. But at like a structural level of like what is morning time, it is an extremely low bar that looks like whatever your personal anchor is that says, I'm excited for it to be a new day, whatever that process looks like for you, it's perfect.